Hey there folks, the number one Toe fan from the Infinite Jukebox here with another quick album review, and today I wanted to talk about the new Toe record, Now I See the Light. Music nerd favorite, primarily instrumental, Japanese experimental rock band Toe here with their first album in nearly a full decade, and I think their discography is a very interesting one to follow. I mean, 2005's The Book About My Idle Past on a Vague Anxiety, absolute classic of math rock and post-rock, whatever you want to consider them. And 2009's sophomore album For Long Tomorrow is pretty well liked as well, and could definitely be seen as an equal cult classic sister album. Yet at the same time, 2015's Hear You is a record that I rarely see discussed outside of the more inner circles of the Toe fanbase, and even then that's kind of rare. It just is nowhere near as well received as those first two records. It's not a disaster by any means, it just feels like people don't really care about that third album nearly as much as the first two, and kind of understandably so, because while it is decent, the first two records are just much better. The band's latest studio album and their fourth overall full-length LP, Now I See the Light, is seemingly trying to pivot back to the classic-making status that Toe once had, nearly 20 years ago at this point. Yet at the same time, it feels like another prime example of a band that is extremely talented technically, but is so overly polished that the end result feels like nothing much of note. It really should be said that this record, instrumentally and in terms of execution, this record is extremely impressive. There's really no denying that. It's a technically monstrous album in the best way possible for those music theory type nerds out there. I think that the band are considered virtuosic for a reason, and everything from the jazz-inspired rhythm section to the almost neoclassical guitar work at times manages to demonstrate how technically proficient each individual member of this band truly is, and they manage to demonstrate their respective abilities in bulk throughout this, for the most part, pretty short record overall, never really coming across as too self-indulgent in any moment in particular as far as showing off skills goes. And while this is a wet dream of an album for anyone who finds themselves enamored with technical ability to the extent that it makes up the bulk, if not the entirety, of the record, I can't help but feel that performance and ability being set aside, this record in terms of actual style, it feels entirely static. It's the opposite of style over substance. This record is so focused on providing technicality that it all ends up just feeling a bit lacking in soul. And this is a major issue among many instrumental math rock type bands out there right now, arguably most notably Polyphia being a prime example of that. And it's a shame to see Toe kind of have that happen to them as well, putting so much attention to detail into their compositions that the end result feels mathematical to the point of feeling like a lesson in music theory than it does an actual fun and exciting listening experience. It's really disappointing. It does not help that there are a couple tracks here and there with slightly below average qualities about them, like the weak vocals on tracks like Loneliness Will Shine, as well as the title track, or the pretty out of place warbles that you get on the fourth track on the track list, which it has a Japanese title and I don't feel like butchering another language today, so just the fourth song. Toe have a couple of genre classics / essentials under their belt, and there's no denying the technical ability of the members of the band, something that I have immense respect for overall, but at the same time, it feels kind of hard to really appreciate the quality of the performance work here in terms of technicality when the method of it being fed to the listener is presented in the dull kind of light, the dull presentation that it is here on this record. Now I See the Light, more like now I don't see the light because the light's dull, because there is no light, because this wasn't that good of an album. I'm gonna give this record 2.5 stars out of 5. And with that being said, that's the end of this quick album review. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.